This video today, I'm gonna be walking you through my entire trading day, from my pre-market analysis and the game plan to live trading and post-market review. Literally the full process from start to finish. I've been trading for 9 years and started off with supply and demand, price action and market structure. But since 2023, I added order flow and volume profile into my process, and it completely changed how I see the market. I get better entries, better context, better everything. And today, I'm gonna show you exactly what that looks like in real time. So let's see how it plays out. So I wanna give you guys a rundown here of the trading softwares that I'm gonna be using today and what everything means, and also the different accounts that I'm gonna be trading today. So right now I'm managing 3 different portfolios. Number 1, I'm managing my Top Step live account, which as you guys can see here, I have Project X pulled up on the left-hand side with an $11,828 balance. And so far I did trade the Asia session last night and made a total profit of $6,406. Now the Top Step live account is a little bit different than a Top Step regular funded account. It does mean that it is a real account connected to real liquidity, and it is a real money account compared to the sim funded accounts. And you're able to do this once you go through certain payout milestones throughout Top Step, and the risk team analyzes your performance and determines that you are a professional trader, and then they move you over to a live account where every single trade is actually placed on a real order book and pushed through the CME group. So this is a real money account. Now on the right hand side, I'm going to be trading 10 different 150K Apex PA accounts. So these are all going to be funded accounts as well. And I have them all synced and linked to my Tradecopia trade. And I have them all synced and linked together to my Tradecopia trade copier. So whenever I place one position on this account, let's just say I make a $1,000 profit on this account, I make a $1,000 profit across my other 9 funded accounts on Apex, allowing me to make a $10,000 profit. So I'm going to be trading on Apex on my right hand screen here. And then I also have on my main chart here as well on another monitor, I have one of the charts where I do my main analysis and focus on. And then I also have my personal live account as well. And then on my other monitor over here, I just have access to an economic calendar, and then of course my Discord community where I'm going to be sharing my trades with my community. Today is one of the days that I do not go live with my community. I go live with my community, and basically what you guys are getting right now, they get in real time 3 times a week. So let's start off with a pre-market analysis here. So it's about 9:28, so the market is about to open up. I have pulled up here NQ on the 5-minute time frame. Now the platform that I am going to be using today is Deep Charts. It is an order flow platform that I do trade on, but I mainly do analysis on and look at my order flow data and tools. So the very first thing that I like to do when it comes to the market open is mark up yesterday's or the previous trading session, since today is Monday's volume profile for the RTH session. So I'm going to be marking up the volume profile, fixed range volume profile from the 9:30 a.m. open of the previous trading session all the way to the 4 p.m. close, and I'm going to be measuring the cash sessions volume profile there. So we can very clearly see this is going to be our volume profile levels. Now what I'm going to make sure I do is I'm going to head over to my indicators here, and I'm going to make sure that my volume profile is set at a fixed range so it doesn't move, and that's going to give me the most accurate read for the previous cash sessions volume profile. Now this is going to be the value area. The way you want to think about this is where price is spending the majority of its time, and because this is where the market has found the most acceptance. Just simply meaning that this is where we've seen a lot of volume transacted, or the majority of volume throughout this entire volume profile transacted here. So the next thing I'm going to do is mark up my previous value area. So I'm going to mark up my previous value area low, which is going to be all the way down here. So this is going to be the lower end of the value area. I'm going to mark up my previous session's point of control as well, which is the one specific price throughout this entire volume profile where the most volume was transacted. And then this is going to be the value area high all the way up here, which is also going to be the high of the value area range. Now, the one thing I want you guys to take into consideration is that price likes to spend a lot of time inside of this area here. Now, what I'm also going to be marking up here as well is going to be the previous session's low, which is going to be all the way down here. So let's mark that up. Previous session low. This is also going to be, the market open, or technically the Sunday open candlestick, which is going to be roughly around this range over here from what I remember. I'm on the 5-minute time frame here. I actually think it was like around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark up this Asia session low all the way down here, which is going to be my overnight low. And then I'm going to also mark up this pre-market high over here as well. These are going to be all of my key levels for the day. So as you can see, I have now all of my key levels marked up on my charts. These are going to be the levels that I'm actively going to be looking to trade. Now, one thing that's super important and why I shifted from trading just basic supply and demand and price action and moving over to volume profiles, because I get a better context on the market and I have a better understanding of the probabilities as to what the market should do based off of historical data that I backtested over 5 years, just using the volume profile and determining where price action opens up relative to prior value. So this is going to be our entire prior value area here. Now we open up inside of prior value, and historically, whenever we open up inside of a previous value area, there's a higher probability of a trending day in that situation. Now, what I look for specifically, and this is going to be my setup on the day, is going to be the value fade setup. So whenever price opens up inside of prior value, I would like to see the first move of the day push into one of these specific levels and then look to fade that move, because typically what we're going to see is some form of a liquidity grab or a liquidity sweep, as the younger traders like to call it nowadays. And then that's where I'll be looking for my specific entry, my specific trade. So as of right now, we have two levels that I can focus on. The first level is going to be the previous session's point of control, sitting here at 29,430. The second level is going to be sitting here at the previous session's value area low, sitting all the way down at 29,388. Now, the one thing to take in mind and to keep into consideration is that we do have the current week's volume profile sitting down here. Now, why I mainly only look at the regular trading hours volume profile, the cash sessions volume profile, is because this is where we see a lot of the more institutional activity. And especially here in the United States, a lot of these institutions aren't allowed to transact outside of the regular trading hours. So the cash session profiles are what's going to have a lot more weight when I make my day-to-day trading decisions. Now, all of this volume was transacted last night during the Asia and the London session here. So this is an area I am going to take into consideration, which is going to be the current week's volume profile, which is also going to be the current week's value area. So I look at the current week's value area for a little bit more of a long-term look, a little bit more of a bigger picture perspective per se. But as of right now, we are pulling back. So I do want to be cautious and do want to see what happens at this previous session's point of control. This is going to be the first area where I could look to potentially stack on some longs here. Now, the other indicator I am looking at here is going to be the big trades indicator, which shows me aggressive buying and aggressive selling inside of the markets. Now, with this aggressive buying and this aggressive selling, it allows me to identify who the aggressor is in these situations, and also whether those aggressors in those aggressive positions are being absorbed or not. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to raise my minimum size here to 3
I'm breaking your heart, so won't you buy? I'll be your answer, I'll be your wish, I'll be your fantasy, your favorite bitch. From the back to the middle and around again, I'm gonna be there till the end, 100% pure love. From the back to the middle and around again, I'm gonna be there till the end, 100% pure love. From the back to the middle and around again, I'm gonna be there till the end, 100% pure love. From the back to the middle and around again, I'm gonna be.
Which we see some aggressive buying already stepping in, so I'm going to move the market. I'm going to move my stops to break even. Now, I'm able to move my stops to break even so quickly here because of the fact that the whole point is to see this aggressive buying initiate another leg up. So if this aggressive buying doesn't initiate this other move up, then these buyers are getting absorbed, and that's not a position that I want to hold. Ideally, I want to see these buyers push the market up. Now, what would be really nice is if we get a bullish candlestick close, because that would determine and that will show us that this aggressive selling, there's really no result for that aggressive selling. So we should see a continued push up from there. Now I am currently up about 1R on one of my personal accounts here, so I'm just gonna watch the market and see how the market reacts and behaves around this area here. So let's see if we can get an actual push up here from this level, and I need to set my take profit over here as well. So I'm looking to gain about $5,000 on my Top Step live account from a $1,000 risk. And then we're seeing the market push here, so I'm gonna trail my stop loss up in profit. I'm gonna close out on one of my live accounts here because I just made $15,000 on that move. So now I'm only focused on my Apex and my Top Step account here, which I will show you guys all of the results at the end of this video here. We're seeing more aggressive buying stepping in. And you can see now this aggressive buying is being rewarded. One thing that I really do like about this position and how we can determine, again, effort versus result here is if we actually look at this candlestick here, we can see that this aggressive seller was executed, and we saw this aggressive seller trying to initiate another move down, but he's trapped in the middle of that bearish candlestick here. So I'm seeing some aggressive selling here, so I'm going to actually close the position into strength here, and I'm going to close the position into strength here as well, because we're seeing this aggressive selling. Look at the reaction that we got from that aggressive selling, how we immediately saw another move down. And that is literally it for my trading day today, guys. I made $3,500 on my Top Step account, which is super solid, bringing my balance up to $15,000. So guys, that was the first trade of the day today so far. Really good, really quick scalp here. So the entry was at the retest of where this seller was previously trapped here. My stop loss was down here for about $500, I believe. And then I ended up getting out of the position at about an $1,800 or so profit for just a little bit over 3R on this specific trade here. So now going into the results themselves and how much money I actually made from this position, since I am trading 3 accounts here, is I'm going to pull up my live account here in a second here. But on my Top Step accounts, I made roughly around $3,500 or so, bringing my Top Step live account balance up to $15,000. On my Apex PAs, I made around $1,837 here, which is really good because, again, I'm copy trading these across 10 different accounts. Let's see, on the day today so far, I only took one position and I made $15,243. And these are all like previous positions and trades. So I made a total profit of just around, let me grab a calculator here. So today I made a total profit of just around $36,500 on this simple scalp here for a quick 3R multiple. Now that is one of the beauties of order flow and why I really got into trading order flow in smaller time frames, because when I used to trade the higher time frames and I'm so focused on the 4-hour, the hour, the 30-minute time frame, for me to get a 3R multiple, I would need a sizable move because my stop losses were just so much larger. But nowadays, you know, I'm making my decisions and I'm executing my trades really quickly, almost on the fly, as you guys saw here on that one break even, and then this one trailing stop loss, and then this one trade that I ended up getting out a little bit earlier than I wanted to, but that's okay, because I'm able to just use small stops and have smaller targets, but just increase size on the actual trades, so they play out a lot quicker. Now to recap the positions and why I took these trades specifically, because if we look at the 5-minute time frame and we look at where the market opened up compared to prior value here, the market opened up inside of this previous value area, which whenever we see the market do that, ideally the first thing I like to do is look to fade the first move at any one of these previous levels. Typically, it's going to be the previous point of control, the previous value area low, or the previous value area high, and then I look to fade that move. Now, whenever the market opens up, and you guys can backtest this as well, and this is something that I teach in my private community all the time, whenever the market opens up inside of this prior value area, there's a higher probability of a trending day, and we're going to see most likely more price discoveries than balance, just simply meaning that the market is just going to be that the market has a lower probability of moving sideways, and we're actually going to see some form of a trending move, which so far we can even see here as well that the value area is shifting up on the weekly profile, which is showing us acceptance. Now this is a really good reference point and a level of support for us, and all we're doing is we're grabbing all of these different things together and putting them into basically a checklist here, so we can have the highest probability setups possible. And again, I'm not looking for an entire trend reversal here. As you guys can see, I was perfectly fine taking this 3.6 hour multiple, because now for every $100 I risk, I'm end up gaining $369, which is really good. Now, if I want to continue to trade on the day, that is going to be something else, and I could leverage and use the profit that I've made today from just this one trade alone to try and make more money. And what I could do is set a trailing stop. So since I just made 3.6 R multiple, what I could do is grab half of that R multiple and allocate that money to new trades, so I could potentially make another 3.6 R or another 4R. And that is the whole point of getting into like the lower time frame trading and getting it out of the market with precision and accuracy, more importantly. So we'll see how this move plays out for the rest of the day. As you can see, this move so far has been short-lived. So most likely I'm gonna call it a day there. I mean, it's 9:50, and I mean, that was a 20-minute workday that made me $36,000. Now, the beautiful part about trading these lower time frames and order flow specifically is now I could spend the rest of the day doing whatever I want. Whether I want to go golfing, whether I want to spend the rest of the day and take my daughter to the beach, or maybe take my daughter out on the boat. If I want to work on any of my supercars, I could as well. I have the liberty to do whatever I want now, and that is the beautiful part about trading. And I mean, you guys saw it here live as well. Now with the funded accounts, it's a little bit of a different story. You know, with my live account, I have to wait and I have to have 5 green days inside of the markets of at least $150 or more to be able to actually request a payout, which there's no payout caps on my Top Step live account here, which you can see I'm up $9,000 on the day. On my Apex accounts, I have to basically have a consistency rule of 50%, which has never been an issue for me, because if I could just make $2,000 a day over 10 days, that's $10,000 per account. I can get the maximum payout cap of $2,500, which is a $25,000 payout in 5 days. And then for my live account, I mean, I can withdraw whenever. Now, my live account today, I made $15,000. If I wanted to withdraw the entire $15,000 profit, I very well could. But that is the liberty that trading buys you that nothing else in this world will come close to. As you guys can see, I only traded for 20 minutes today so far, and I'm done for the day. Now what I'm simply going to do is send a trade recap to my students in the chat here, make sure they understood why I took these positions, and then get them prepared for tomorrow's live trading session, which I do trade with my community live 3 times a week. So basically what you guys just witnessed, they get to witness in real time. That is the only difference. And then ask me questions throughout the process, and that is my day-to-day routine. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm gonna call it a day. $36,000 day is absolutely phenomenal here in between trading different portfolios. And then I will see you guys in the next video, and let me know if you guys like this style of video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. If you guys want to join my trading community, you guys can click that very first link down in the description, and I'll talk to you guys soon.